like my wine like I like my women bottled.
You're listening to TKR.
We're going to kick it off. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. My name is Riley, and welcome back to TKR, your new favorite podcast. We're keeping that intro, by the way.
Will be kicking the camera.
Yes.
You're gonna see my feet on Feet Finder.
Welcome. We're in the same room.
Yeah!
It's kind of crazy, but it's awesome. We had an awesome day yesterday. We just went to Comic-Con. I think that's what we're going to talk about today. Yeah, Grand Rapids Comic-Con. It was kind of awesome.
It was. Honestly, compared to last year, I think we did a lot better with time management.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we weren't there all day.
No.
We were only there till like 3, so...
It was 6 hours we were in total that we were there. But I feel like Riley got the short end of the stick in this one, because half of the time was him waiting in lines.
Yeah, that was fun.
Was it?
Kind of. I got to meet some cool people.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we go to Comic. We go for the experiences.
So before we get into our Comic-Con rant, which is the topic of this episode, which won't be mine topic, we're going to have that for next week. We're just going to have our Comic-Con theme that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. But before that, we're going to get some updates on our lives, because we've had kind of a week apart from each other before we had anything.
Oh, yeah.
We only showed up 2 days ago. So How's your life been so far?
For the past week and a half since we've last spoken, it was pretty good. Not much has changed, if I'm being honest. You always you ask me this stuff expecting to get an interesting response. And I don't think you expect too much from me.
Well, I was going to make mine a lot funnier.
Okay. Well, let's hear it.
Thursday night, my work had an appreciation thing.
Oh, nice.
So we got to preface this with, I don't drink anymore, all right? And everyone I work with loves to drink. They took us to a bar, right? And I'm just there. I had errands to run because it was on a Thursday. Friday, Riley was showing up, so I was like, I need to get stuff ready. I need to go and do all my shopping, get all this stuff done, so I don't do it when he's here. And so, meet up at 5. I'm like, cool. If I get out of here by like 6:30, I have time to mingle. I have time to like sit down and eat, get free food. I'm like, cool, we can go. They plastered me with like, hey, take a shot with us. Come on. I'm like, no. And they're like, come on. Mind you, none of them were driving. Mm-hmm. I was, and they were trying to get me hammered. Mm. I'm like, guy, I have to drive.
You're like, one of us has to do it.
I'm like, they know I don't drink, and they constantly like are trying to get me to, but I'm like, nah, not happening. But I watched this guy, his name's Art. They were fucking him up. They got him like 5 double shots of something. Oh my god, they were putting to work. He was telling us how when he goes home to his wife, if he's been drinking, he goes straight to bed, and he's like in his 5th shot, he goes, gonna be one of those nights, and then
oh no.
And then afterwards, they got my other coworker Kobe, who's about like the same age as me. Mm-hmm. He wasn't almost drinking nothing. He got like his one like drink. He's like, okay, cool, I'm good to drive home. But they're like, nah, Art's done. Your turn. So they're like throwing shots at him and stuff. Mm-hmm. But this is by the point I'd already left. But oh my god, it was so funny to watch these people try to get other people to drink. Like, guys, it's Thursday night. We have to go to work tomorrow. We have to be in by 8 a.m. to do a whole 8-hour shift. And you're trying to get us all to like down drinks.
I feel like that's a management issue at that point. It's like, hey, you wanted to fund this appreciation trip. You're dealing with the people calling in the next day.
Oh, it's even funnier too, because there's this guy that we work with that he excessively drinks. Okay. Like, it's one of, if he was a championship, he'd probably join it. That's how much he likes drinking, right? And so at one point, I like sit down because I had my food. I had like fries. He reaches across the table and takes one. I'm like this bitch. So when he got up to go to pool, there was like some soft pretzels.
Okay.
I pulled the salt off the pretzels and like sprinkled it into his drink.
Oh no.
But the problem is the salt was so acid that it was like bubbling at the top. So I'm like, crap, he's gonna notice. I look over at my boss, and my boss takes the candies on the tables, unwraps them, and starts throwing them in the drink as well. So you got these 2 pink beans at the bottom. They're like literally like this big, sitting at the bottom of his drink along with salt just bubbling up his drink. And I'm like, I feel bad. I didn't want it to go that far. So I was going to use my free drink to get him one. So I go up to his wife. I'm like, oh, can you like order him another drink? And she's like, no, he'll drink it. I'm like, no, he won't. She goes, look. And I look over and I see him just pick up the drink and start chugging it.
Oh.
And I start laughing at him. He goes, what? He looks at it and he goes, you asshole. I'm like, you didn't look inside your drink. You would have been drugged.
Uh-huh.
But he ended up getting a new drink. It was all good, all playing fun, no hard feelings. But like, dude, you
gotta start watching what you're drinking, dude.
Forwarded everyone. Always check your drinks. It was like discolored too. It was like light gold beforehand. It turned into gray, and he still just picked it up and drank. I'm like,
oh, that's nasty.
Trafficking right there immediately. He would have been gone.
Yep, that's awful. That's disgusting.
But that's how my Thursday went,
Yeah.
and I still have more days to go.
And this is why I don't hang out with coworkers outside of work.
I try not to, but they dragged me into it. I got into work on Monday after going on that week vacation, and my boss looks at me and goes, you don't have plans on Thursday. I'm like, oh, I do. He goes, not anymore. Like,
you're like, all right, cool.
Like, well, fuck me, I guess.
Right, I guess I don't get a say in this. No, you don't.
But it's like,
with it. Good times.
Oh my god, it was such a fun week. It was the first week back from a week-long vacation I had, if I didn't mention that last week. I thought I would be sluggish, but they put me to work. It was funny too. Sunday night, I got a message from my boss because I didn't know if I was going to be in one place or another. So he goes, oh, you're in this place. Be dressed to work. I messaged him back. I'm like, okay, like working for what? Am I going to be outside, inside? What do we need? No reply. So I was like, cool. I'll go half and half. I wore insulated pants, and then I wore like a short t-shirt with a sweatshirt, which, by the way, where I live, it was like 30-degree weather at 8 a.m., and I walk most of the time to work. So I was like, cool. If it get too cold, I'll be fine. Mm-hmm. Got to work, and then he goes, yeah, everything you thought you were doing, wrong.
Oh, no.
I forget what it was. Like, I was basically outside for the first 4 hours. The next 4 hours, he's like, okay, so here's the list of stuff I want you to do. Then he would take the list, look at it, throw it, new list, here you go. It's like, you thought.
Yeah.
It was such a chaotic week, but it was enjoyable.
Yeah. Hey, it comes with the change of the seasons, man. It's November now. Now we start dealing with snow.
Oh yeah, it's November. And Friday we put up all our Christmas decorations.
Yay!
For
Okay,
those
so
who
you're
don't know.
totally against that, right?
I hate Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving. I hate Christmas music. Well, it's...
No, I'm totally the opposite. I used to be that way up until like 2 years ago, and I became an adult and my life is miserable now. So now Christmas is the only time of year that I feel genuine joy. Okay. So now I need the Christmas decorations.
Putting up Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving is the problem I have.
Okay, wait, are you going to put up Thanksgiving decorations?
Yes!
Really?
Okay, if I have Thanksgiving decorations, I would 100% put them up before.
But you don't.
I don't decorate anything. I don't have Halloween, I don't have Christmas. I have nothing in my house. Because it's too much work for me. But like, in terms of that, if I had decorations for every holiday, I ain't putting them up for those holidays. I'm not skipping one.
Oh.
Cause like,
yeah, but like nobody puts up Thanksgiving decorations.
that's the problem I have. Why don't we? You literally it's so easy because Halloween and Thanksgiving are literally the same colors. So all you need to do, like, you can literally leave the pumpkins, just take out all the like carved out pumpkins, slap them away, put a turkey down, done.
But like, what's like center bit? Like, are you just gonna get one of those like dang basket weaved cornucopia things and fill it with vegetables?
No, so
is that your Thanksgiving decoration?
Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna get a separate turkey that you're gonna have baked by the time Halloween ends. So November 1st, you're gonna have this thing. You're gonna stuff it right. It's gonna be cooked to perfection. You're gonna then ice it in an ice cube. Put that as your centerpiece. Thanksgiving comes around, it'll finally be melted. You cook it again.
Oh my gosh. So you're just, it's flash freezing your turkey and then cooking it a month later.
Bingo.
That sounds awesome.
It sounds terrible. Don't even
Don't even try.
don't even
Sounds
fuck with me like that.
Yeah.
But no, it feels so easy to make Thanksgiving decorations. You could literally just put turkey on stuff.
The little hand turkeys.
Yeah, like, but no one ever decorates for it.
Because it's like, I mean, especially since it's Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work to do, you know, take down your Halloween decorations, put Thanksgiving decorations up for 2 weeks, just to take them down and move on to Christmas. I think that's the tricky part. So if you're combining your Thanksgiving and your Halloween, maybe that would be different.
But that's an easy thing. Like, Halloween and Thanksgiving are the same colors. Like, you can literally just have fall as like the theme and just switch out key pieces that define them.
Right.
So it's doing half of it, really.
True.
But then I understand, you know, putting up Christmas decorations when it's warmer out because, you know, you don't want to be winter
Right.
outside putting up these lights when it's like 15 below freezing and
Right.
there's icicles forming. But like, come on, give it a chance.
Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. You guys listening at home, I know most of you are probably from Michigan. If you're not from Michigan, where we're at, it literally started snowing before Halloween. Like downpouring snow before Halloween. So I think that's a good point, is to put them up early,
Yeah.
because then you don't have to deal with putting them up when it's winter out.
All I'm saying is, if you can't stand the cold to put up your decorations, you shouldn't have decorations. Hot take. That's my hot take for the
okay.
day.
Oh, TK's taking the hot take.
Because
today.
think about it, right? You have Christmas decorations, right? What are you gonna do in January when it's the middle of winter? You're gonna take them down, right?
No, most people leave them up.
Exactly. But some places don't let you leave them up.
True. That's true.
So you gotta take it down anyways. So if you can't put them up when it's cold, you shouldn't have them up at all.
Yeah, but it's easier to take them down than put them up.
That is true, but still.
There were these things that we used to have. We used to put lights up outside, but then homeowners associations started being a pain in the ass about it. So we stopped doing it. But back when we used to do it, we just had these like clip things that just clip onto the siding of your house.
Oh, yeah.
And so you just put the lights in there and just take them out, but you leave the clips up.
Oh, you just year round?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're like clear, so you don't really see them.
See, that I can get behind.
So like that's the way to do it, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. I like Christmas early.
I think
I need it.
one of the biggest things that makes me hate putting up Christmas decorations early is my mom. There was one year that we had a Christmas tree in our living room, and she was too lazy to take it down, even though she had 3 grown boys in her house. So she, instead of taking the Christmas tree down, she left it up, and then would just switch out the decorations. So like Valentine's Day, it was just hearts. And she would just keep switching out the decorations on this one Christmas tree for the entire year.
Dude, we toyed with that idea last year because we finally switched to a fake tree. Mm-hmm. And so that was our thing. We were like, why don't we just leave it up and decorate it for every single holiday? Just rotate it. I like that idea.
I mean, it was all right, but it was just funny because like she would constantly complain about like, hey, this tree is still up. And like, we literally can take it down.
You're like, we are trying.
But this, for viewers at home, my mom is very what's the word for it? She's handicapped. She has a lot of problems breathing. So us like walking a distance would be like her running a distance to her heart. So her taking down a tree would be like exhausting. Mm-hmm. But she has 3 grown sons in the house at the same goddamn time.
Yeah. But, you know, Christmas is all year round type of thing, right?
No. If I get PTSD in November now just because of Mariah Carey.
It's always Mariah Carey.
Literally, it's like she's peeking around the corner like,
Uh-huh. Oh my gosh. TK and I used to work at Toys R Us before our local Toys R Us closed. And we were, I mean, TK stayed after. I was only seasonal. But when I tell you they played the same 3 Christmas songs, that's not even an overstatement. I kept track because there's one song, and I don't remember what the name is. That I don't even. It's a Kelly Clarkson song. I kept track of every time they played this song. It would play twice an hour, and that's not even a joke.
You would have hated the liquidation process.
Oh my gosh.
So when we were, I don't know if I ever told you the story about the liquidation. So our radio went out. I worked throughout the liquidation of it. So when our one was closing, I worked through the entire thing. The radio in the actual place shut down completely, and we couldn't get it back up. So we took one of the CD players, and one of the guys bought it. Then we put it up on top of like the front aisle thing, and that's the music we had. Mm-hmm. The scene soundtrack was the only thing we played. It was even funnier to, it was like that, Guardians of the Galaxy. It was like the same 5 CDs, but it was funny because all the adults like knew all the soundtracks. They had kids. It would just be us like working, and it's like
rioting.
Literally.
There could have been, okay, it could have been much worse soundtrack.
No, it could have been, but it was just funny. They're like, you would walk in, it's like, what music's today? The same goddamn thing I heard for the last 3 weeks. This was like 2 months of the same 3 soundtracks on repeat.
That's awesome.
It was even funnier too because there's only one guy tall enough to reach the actual CD player to switch him out. If he wasn't there, same CD.
That's wild.
Honestly, I would take that over what I had next. I worked at the local resort, and they had where I was working, they had the ability to, like, you can plug in your phone and play your own music.
Okay.
This one guy that I worked with, he would play like the My Little Pony soundtrack.
Oh no.
He had it like in his actual playlist.
Why?
So it would be like that, and then like Sonic the Hedgehog, and then he like would sing the words to it. I'm like, oh, it's like we're around kids a lot in our area. It's like, oh, for the kids, right? He goes, no, it's my actual playlist. I'm like, how old are you? He goes, I'm like 27. I'm like,
You're like, okay.
oh, I was like 16 at the time. I'm like,
You're like, oh, okay, cool.
he probably has it lined in his bedroom. My Little Pony.
Oh, I'm sure.
He turned out to be a creep, though. That's a story for another thing.
That's a story for another time. Yeah, no, I always say that if Toys R Us magically reopened, I would quit my job and go back there immediately.
Something sad is there's still in the city I now live in. There's a sign that says Toys R Us this way. Mm-hmm. It's still up.
Oh yeah,
Like not the like actual store, just the sign that says Toys R Us is
just
this way.
the sign.
Yeah, and it was a road that I'd never really take, and I took it one time because I was running late to the event I was going to, and I saw it. I'm like, no shot, and I drove around where it was. They made it into like what was the Halloween store.
Spirit Halloween.
Yes, they made it into one of those. I'm like,
Of course.
I'm like, at least it's something that kids can go to.
Right.
Like,
but it's not the same. No,
it's not the same, no.
I think I know the exact one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because there's a Chick-fil-A right next door. And I remember going to Chick-fil-A one time when I was visiting, and I just looked behind in the Toys R Us. Like, the sign wasn't up still, but you could see the letter.
Yeah.
Like, sun faded into the building. I was like, oh, it's gone. Dude, I would quit my job and go back to Toys R Us immediately.
You know, I still get checks from them every year.
Really?
Yeah, because I was working for them for closing. They give, like, it's literally like $3.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
I don't think I got one last year, though. But I got one the previous 2 years, during COVID especially. But it was just funny. I'm like, please tell me the reopening, because I would move back immediately.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like, hey, $3.
By the way, here you go. I have this happened like a year after they closed. Mm-hmm. I was going through one of my drawers and I found an unused Toys R Us gift card for like $45 from something I returned. I was like, no! I was like, come on, man. How did I miss this? Could have used that employee discount and everything.
The reward system was fucked, though.
Yeah.
It was so bad. You had to like spend $3,000 or something to get like anything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember they always tried to get us to upsell this. And at the time, we were what, 16?
15, 16, yeah.
15, 16, something like that.
Yeah.
So they were like, try to sell them on the credit card. I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Well, I had one guy come to me, he goes, would you get this credit card? I'm like,
I don't know. Yeah.
no. It's like, why not? I'm like, dude, I don't even have a bank account yet. They give me checks that my mom puts in for me. I don't get money unless my mom's here. You think I get a credit card? He goes, good point. I'll take it.
Right,
Like,
I'll take it.
I'm like, I just don't know.
Dude, that was such a good first job.
Oh.
That wasn't technically my first job. I worked at a farm for a summer. But that was a good, like, first retail.
Oh, 100%.
That's what I mean. I don't really hate, and maybe it was just because it was at Toys R Us. We still had to deal with some pretty crappy people, though. Because I worked, I don't remember if you were there. I worked Black Friday.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh my gosh. So there was this thing. The way the store was set up, we were working the registers. Right to the like front left of the registers was the electronics aisle with all the video games and stuff.
Which is terrible design.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
right next to the door, so anyone could just like grab
just
it.
grab something and run
We
straight
couldn't
out
stop
the door.
him. Like,
No. But anyways, so there was an end cap that all the Disney Infinity stuff was on. Remember Disney Infinity, Skylanders, all that good stuff. They had a deal going on that was like buy one get one 50% off. And I remember because it was a good deal because they had them on sale too. But so it was Black Friday. This chick comes up with a cart full of stuff, and she's like, "These were like buy one get three free," and I was just like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, the sign over there says buy thing one." I'm like, "I can see the sign from here. That's not what that says." And so I even called one of the managers over because I'm like, all right, well, somebody's got to deal with this. And even the manager came over. She's like, yeah, I can see the sign from here. That's not what the sale is. And so she just like dropped her cart and walked out. But then it was awkward because her friend was shopping behind her. And so she had to come in to like wait for her friend to be done. So I was just standing there like, sorry, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help you, but.
There was one lady that called. Oh, bless her soul, but she was an asshole. She called like 2 hours before she came in, right?
Yep.
And she goes, "Do you have this toy?" I'm like, "Let me check." No. It's like, okay. The website says you have one. I'm like, okay. No. She goes, okay. I'm like, cool. End of story. She comes in. She goes, I called. I'm like, oh, okay. Do you have this toy? No.
We have not restocked them since the last time you called me.
And she's like, but the website says you have one. I'm like, I am the website, and I'm telling you, there is not one in here. She dropped this line on me. She goes, my mom bought one here 2 days ago.
Yo, good. She probably bought the last one.
I'm like, go tell your mom. Ready to you. But I'm like, I'm like, I literally like grabbed the screen and twisted it around for. I'm like, zero
in stock. I swear people should be forced to work either a retail job or a restaurant job at some point in their lives.
So they can understand.
Because people just don't get it. Like I don't work retail anymore. That was the only retail job I ever worked.
Oh, good luck.
But it's like, people just don't understand. Like, we don't control the systems. They're automated systems. We can't do anything about it. If they don't update in time, that's not our fault. We can't do anything about it. Especially if you're working for a corporation like Toys R Us was.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a big like box store business. We don't have control over any of this. Nobody in this store does.
I will say though, the best days were if you got that call and you saw that there was one in stock but wasn't where the shelf was. I don't know if I ever told you this, but whenever I saw there was one item, I would go up to the manager and I would tell her, I'm like, hey, so someone called about this and they'll be here in an hour. Can I go find it? She goes, yeah, absolutely. And when I found out it wasn't there, I would then go up and down every fucking aisle. I would look into everyone's carts, like glance them really quick to see who was in there, but because some people just move stuff and put them behind other things so they can hide them.
Right.
I would search everywhere. I would take the whole hour to walk up and down to try to find this thing, just to waste time. I'd eventually find it, like hid it in. For some reason, everyone hid everything in Legos.
Oh yeah, no, just behind the giant Lego boxes, just stick them behind.
I always knew they would do that too. I found out eventually, so I was like, I'll start at the other end and work my way to Legos to waste more time. And then I come back out, they're like, where were you? I'm like, Narnia.
I went on a journey.
But no, retail at Toys R Us was both the funniest thing and the worst thing. Oh, do you remember the Facebook drama that happened with that?
No, maybe.
There was one day I came in for like, it wasn't like an opening, but it was like maybe like 11 on a Saturday. And you know how we had like the scanners, the walkie-talkies, all that stuff?
Yeah.
Nothing was charged. Like we had
no.
none of our equipment. And so I come in, everyone's like looking like at the floor. I'm like, oh God, what happened? Someone died? They're like, oh no, we got scolded. I'm like, oh, for what? And then they're like, oh, we don't want to talk about it. The manager came in later on, one of them, and I asked her, I'm like, do you know what happened last night? Oh yeah. And she showed me the photo of one of the workers during the liquidation period dancing on the number at like a stripper pole.
Oh no.
And they put it on our Toys R Us Facebook page.
Oh no.
A full view of them, like the workers, like, yeah, get it. Like the 17-year-old kid. And then they proceeded to not plug in anything. So they left everything uncharged during the closing as well. And so the manager got in, could use nothing for the first couple hours, and you ripped them all a new one.
Oh my gosh.
And I walk in and I'm like,
oh, that's rough. I think one of my favorite moments, because I went back for the closing party, just because I was invited because TK still worked there.
I got him in.
And they said like previous employees were invited.
Yeah.
And stuff. And so I don't remember, was the manager's name Scott?
Yeah.
I didn't. He worked different schedule than I did, so I barely got to work with him.
He was
I think
funny.
I worked with him once before I left for the season. But he wore the Jeffrey suit when we were doing the closing party. And we were doing that.
Lutz.
And then he left. Yes, exactly. So TK and I go back. We were like, oh, let's see if we can catch Scott like in the suit. Like, see if we can get him with just like the head off or something. And we go back there and he's out of the costume already. We were like, oh, dang it. We were hoping to see you like half in the suit. And he says, sorry, boys. Jeffrey Ludes are going to cost you extra.
He said that with his kids in the store.
I know. It was so funny because it was so off kilter. Because that was the thing is like Toys R Us employees are pretty good about keeping it clean while they're at work.
Yeah.
But by that point, after all the closing and stuff, nobody cared anymore. It was so funny. I miss it, man. I'd go back.
On a fun note, though, a couple months ago when I went to Riley City to help with the vendor, we saw one of our Toys R Us employees. It was our manager. She was there. We got to see her. She remembered us.
Which I was shocked about.
It was even cooler, too, because she had just gotten, like, the phone memory of the store closing down and was just thinking about us. Mm-hmm. And so we got to see her, like, literally a couple days afterwards.
Yeah,
oh.
It was so cool.
Oh.
Yeah, it was, because that's the thing is when you, like, especially me, you worked there longer than I did. Mm-hmm. But I was like, man, I worked there for 3 months, like, that but didn't feel like enough to make, like, an impact on anybody or an impression on anybody. Mm-hmm. But it's so cool that, like, when people remember you like that.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Yeah.
But now, back to Comic-Con.
Before we do this, I have a gift for you, TK.
Oh, no.
And I've been saving this for, like, 2 months.
That's never a good thing. I'll close my eyes.
All right. So I did this thing. I actually don't know where it's at. I hope it's in this bag. So I did this thing. This was from back when we did, like, episode 2. Mm-hmm. I've been holding this onto this since.
Oh, no.
All right. Open your eyes.
Shut up.
No, that's the back. Here, look at the front. Hold it up for the camera.
Oh, my God. He made merch?
Made merch. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, so I was so hyped up. If you're listening on this audio, it's a hoodie. I was so excited about this. That I think, I don't even know if we recorded episode 2 yet. This was like at the very beginning, first episode went up and I was like, I'm so excited, I'm gonna make design merch. And so I printed a few of these hoodies. It's got our podcast logo on the front with all of our audio, our platform logos on it. Then on the back is our cover art. The printing turned out a little weird, but that's okay. It's prototype merch. And so I said, I'm going to keep this until later to prove that we can stay committed to this thing.
Fucking Mickey Mouse. That's a surprise tool that we're saving for later.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so this is my my gift. I've been saving this for our first in-person episode. So, this is episode 9 already?
Yeah,
I think so.
Let's check really quick. I'm pretty sure. Because I think episode 10 will have a guest.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't know how... We're going to do... For that one, we're doing half segment, half Comic-Con review.
Is that what we're doing?
That's what I'm deciding to do.
As long as you have it figured out.
Yeah, because I didn't want it to be a Comic-Con review. Actually, we're going to record tomorrow, so we can't even have the Comic-Con review.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it'll just be a segment.
I don't know. Maybe that episode will come out the week after, and then we'll do... We haven't figured that out yet, but...
We'll fix it in post.
We're planning on... But yeah, so this is the first official piece of TKR merch. Not going up for sale anywhere. This is our exclusive merch.
Yeah, we're episode 9.
Dang, man. See, it doesn't sound a lot, but when you do like an episode a week, like that's 2 months. We've been doing this for 2 months already. Which is kind of crazy. Oh. Almost 2 months, I guess. It's been like, I guess in a week it'll be.
No, September was...
Our first episode on September 10th.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So technically by next week it'll be 2 months, but it's still crazy. Yeah.
I gotta make sure to send our guests the topic too. I gotta tell you off screen because I want the guys to have like lined up because we're gonna run through this.
Okay. I'm excited, man. All right, on to Comic-Con stuff. TK, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. We decided that we were gonna do like kind of show and tell of the stuff that we got, and then talk about the experience that we had. Because I mean, for a lot of it, we weren't together for it.
Right. That's the thing is we were talking about doing like a vlog or something for like both conventions. But that's the problem is we're both like going in different directions, trying to talk to different people and meeting. So like it'd be a little weird to do a vlog of just like 2 separate cameras of us just doing our own thing. So
Yeah, it'd probably be cool.
It would be. But I'm also not confident enough to do solo commentary in public. I don't like the whole idea of recording in public just yet. But yeah. Kick us off, TK.
So first thing, for those who don't know, I am an anime nerd, and when I saw this, my God, my pockets hurt.
TK's also an artwork collector. He's got a lot of. He goes to conventions to get artwork.
It's a problem. So first, we got Blue Lock.
Ooh.
This is insane. It has like I don't know if you guys will be able to see it from the back, but it has like the actual panels from the manga, the puzzle pieces, and then it has like this blue tint to it all. This was the first piece that I got. Oh, I don't know where to put it yet. I'm struggling to find places to put stuff now.
Yeah.
But that was piece number 1. Then I guess we'll show this one first. These 2 are probably my favorite ones that I got.
Yeah, these are sick. So for the audio listeners, TK's holding up right now. It's like a big print, but it's on like plexiglass.
Yeah, let's give them a little ASMR.
Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, so it's just this super cool artwork.
It's like, to give it like a description, it's a rain with the inside being a forest view with a lake on the bottom and like a starry night up top, but it has like a blue tint over it. The reason for that is because when you put a light behind it, it then brightens up.
Yeah, but I don't even know if that's the point.
I think it must be.
But TK held it up to a window yesterday and it illuminated the whole scene, and it's really cool.
Yeah, you can see like this one tree. I don't know how well this will show in the video, but maybe we'll post it on our Instagram page.
Oh yeah, we'll post some clips hopefully.
And if you're not following our Instagram
keep
page,
saying
TKR
that,
Pod on Instagram and all platforms, follow my please.
TKR Pod on Instagram and TikTok. We have 1 video posted for the last 3 episodes.
And then the other print I got from the same vendor, it's a pink cherry blossom tree. It has a street view with an orange sunset and a blue sky with clouds. It has the same thing of if you put light behind it, it brightens it up. But
The colors.
literally, my favorite color combination is pink and light blue. So when I saw these, like, I was mesmerized.
I'm a sucker with any artwork with like the Japanese, like the cherry blossom stuff. It's so cool.
I'm so gutted I didn't get the backside of the vendor, the ones that were like very light blue and pink. I was so gutted I didn't get one of those, but
Yeah.
I'm still really happy with all these.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I have to show for right now, it's a very weird thing. I won't show it in detail, just actually, as long as I can cover some of them. But I won't show it in too much detail, but during Comic-Con, they had a blood drive, and I decided to donate with my roommate. And at the end, they give out this poster for free, and they gave you a t-shirt. And I didn't find that good enough. So I decided to ask all of the workers if they could sign the piece for me. And so I have like all of their signatures around. And it was so cute to watch all of them like brighten up to have their signature. So the two girls that were standing out the front, I don't know if you heard them, but they were like jumping up and down. It's like, I never signed anything before. It's like this,
so cool.
She like put her signature down. I mean, it was so adorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is probably my favorite thing that I got just because of the memory I have of it. But that's the stuff I got. I didn't get very much this time, but
Well, we're also going to Motor
City.
City the weekend directly after, so
Oh,
trying to save some money.
I almost forgot. I did get the signatures from most of the artists from last time as well. I can pull that out.
Yeah. So this is at Cherry Capital where TK and I were running a booth.
So from here down was the first signatures, and then these are the ones I got this time. I'm only missing one, and that's our friend Bethany, who wasn't there.
Oh, Kyle drew his skull and everything. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Which is even cooler because almost all of them recognized us when we walked up, which was so heartwarming.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I need to figure out what to put in this space to like mark it. I may wait until I see Bethany again to have her sign it first, but
For sure. It's a lot of fun. Good memories. Good memories.
I'm gonna cry.
All right, so I'll get into mine. So this is possibly my first mistake. So I had, I will just say, for this convention, my biggest goal was to get a picture. TK's trying to look at the time now because we can usually see our audio recording, how long we've been recording, but this one, we're recording differently and can't see that. So did you see the time on it? Doesn't matter. We'll keep going.
Yeah.
Anyways, my biggest goal for this one was to get a picture with Tom Kenny, the voice actor for SpongeBob, in my SpongeBob musical hoodie. Because the SpongeBob musical that I was part of, I played Larry the Lobster. It was a very special time for me.
Living like Larry.
Living like Larry. So I wanted to get that picture with him. I was also hoping to get his autograph, but I'll go into that later. Anyways, so very famous actor Vincent D'Onofrio. He played Kingpin in all the Netflix Defenders saga. He was in Magnificent Seven, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. He was in Law and Order. He's in Men in Black. Tons of stuff. Huge actor. He was originally not supposed to be there on Saturday, which is the only day we went. But like I checked the website a few days before Comic-Con and it was like, oh, he's gonna be there for 2 hours on Saturday now. And I was like, oh. So I was originally planning getting in Tom Kenny's autograph line right at the beginning, just to get my spot. But then I heard that Vincent was only gonna be there for 2 hours, so I was like, oh, his line's gonna be super long. I'm gonna go straight to him to get his autograph first. And so I did that, and I got there, and I was like third in line, and I was expecting it to people to flood in, and
No one did.
There was like 5 people behind me after 20 minutes of waiting, so I was like, oh. Anyways, so he finally came. I got him to sign this awesome, amazing Alex Ross Kingpin cover. He wrote a little quote on there: "The tide raises all ships," from the scene where he's trying to convince Punisher to do a prison break, which is one of my favorite scenes of the show. So it was really cool to get him to sign that. But yeah, really cool. He was super chill. I was expecting, like, because Kingpin is a very menacing character, so I was kind of
Could you imagine to be a douchebag?
That's what I was like. I don't want him to, like, beat the crap out of me. No, but he was...
Could you imagine? I'm Kingpin, on and off.
Oh, yeah. No, but he was a very calm demeanor, very quiet. But he was just a super nice guy, and he wasn't on. That was one of the things I was wondering if he was part of like the SAG after strike. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know if he'd be able to talk about the projects he was doing. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't. So I got to talk to him a little bit about Kingpin. Really cool. Anyways, so by the time I did that, I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna get into Tom Kenny's line. Tom Kenny's line was all the way back to the booth behind him. It was crazy. So
he tried 3 times to get into his line.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, well, I'll wait for it to cool down a little bit. So what I did was I went to the photo op booth, and I got my ticket to do the photo op with him, which was at 1:30. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'll wait a little bit to, I'll walk around for a little bit, do some shopping, come back later. So we did that. I joined up with TK. We walked around for a little bit, got lunch. By the time we finished lunch, it was like a little after noon. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to try to get into Tom Kenny's line, and I'm going to try to get his autograph before the picture I have to do at 1:30. And I guess I should have, like, looked at the Instagram page that they were posting on, because right around the time that I was standing in line, they made a post saying, oh, by the way, the line to meet Tom Kenny is at 3 hours right now. So if you want to get his autograph, get in line. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't see that till after, obviously. So it was like right after noon, I got in his line. I was talking to the guy next to me a little bit. And I was like, yeah, so this photo op's at 1:30. I don't think, at the rate the line was moving, I was like, I don't think we're going to get there in time. And so I stood in this line, hopeful, for an hour and a half, just hoping to get through the line on time.
He made it less than a foot.
No, it was zigzagging, like lines back and forth. I made it like 3 zigzags in out of probably 20.
Me and my roommate walked the entire place, and we came back
Multiple
and saw
times,
him move. He
by the
moved
way.
nowhere.
No. And so it got to like 1:20. I was like, I kind of just gave up. I'm like, I have to do the photo op. I even contemplated biting the bullet on the money I paid for the photo op just to keep my place in line.
That would have been stupid.
It would have been stupid because at that point, like after the photo op, he takes a break. Mm-hmm. And so by that time, it would have been like 2:45. So I would have had to wait in line for another hour and a half before the line even started moving again. And by that point, it would have been another 2 hours. So I was like, nah, it's fine. It wasn't worth it.
They honestly, what they need to do is they need to just have it be like, if they could make it better, they need to have screens above everyone and just have like you come up, you take a number.
Yeah.
And then you have the number appears on top and you have 2 minutes to get over there to like take your spot. And then once you're done, next person goes. Because then it's so sad because Riley went through only half of the Comic-Con by the time all this was done because he was waiting in line so much. Like it doesn't change much. Like if the people can come back.
But that's also a good reason to go more than one day.
Yeah.
Because then you can have a day to just wait in line and meet people and get autographs, and another one to just shop. Mm-hmm. Anyways, and I'll tell you why I think the line was taking too long to begin with later. Mm-hmm. But so anyways, I left the line and got in the photo op line, which obviously wasn't as long because you had to pay a separate fee to do the photo op. And so I was waiting in line, and I was talking to this guy. He was wearing a pineapple costume, which
I remember that.
Which I assumed was just because he was meeting Tom Kenny, but no, apparently he just wears that to every convention.
What?
And it's just a point of conversation. I was like, that's awesome.
That was convenient.
But yeah, I talked to this guy, really sweet guy. We talked for like the whole 25 minutes we were waiting, just talking about conventions and meeting people, and really cool. Those are my favorite kind of interactions.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I like waiting in line, is because you meet people with similar interests. Mm-hmm. And it's just really cool to have those conversations. But so we got there and the line was moving. And like, I don't typically get nervous to meet people just because
They're a person.
Yeah, and it's like, this is what they do for a living, so they're kind of just, they do this all the time.
He walked up.
That's kind of what happened. I walked up, I was like, I kind of froze, because I was like, this is Tom Kenny.
Can you imagine if you, like, because there are some actors that do that, that remember everyone's names beforehand, and they just have, it's like, oh, hey, Riley, how are you? It's like, what would you do in that situation?
I would have freaked out. I probably
like,
would have died. But, yeah, so I got up there, and the first thing he did was he's like, hey, how are you? Reached out for a handshake, and I took his hand. We shook hands. He was just like, hey. He pointed out my hoodie. Because I was like, I don't even know what to say. Because I'm like...
It's like, hey, how are you?
Yeah, exactly. And I was so nervous. And so he points out my hoodie. He's just like, oh, hey, you saw the musical? And I was like, no, I was in the musical. And he was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Like, who did you play? And I told him Larry the Lobster. He was like, oh, and he started doing like the curling. He's like, you have to do a lot of like lifting weights. And I was like, yeah, totally. And it was just cool because like a lot of times, especially at the bigger conventions when you're doing photo ops, it's very much like you go in, stand there, they take a picture, they boot you out because they want to get the line moving.
Right.
But meeting Tom Kenny, it was like he genuinely wanted to have a conversation with me, which was so cool because it's like, you know, I'm such a big fan of his and I was so nervous, but he just made it easy and you could tell he was genuinely invested in his fans.
That's the good part about it, because like you've heard the saying, like if you have a celebrity, if you have like a celebrity crush, never meet them because they're not the same person.
Right.
That is what always takes me away from like wanting to meet people, because Amelie was at Comic-Con and I'm not really a fan of her VTuber era per se, but I like her music and I like the voices, some of the voices that she does. But I was like, I don't want to meet her because if anything happens, I can't like listen to it anymore.
Right.
Because then everything that sticks is just, it's no longer Amelie. It's that one person that made me upset.
Right. For sure.
I ended up not doing it, but apparently she's a very nice woman. So.
Yeah. And so that's what we were getting ready to take the photo. He's like, all right, let's do this. Let's do the Larry the Lobster, like the curling pose. So we got this picture, got it printed out. I don't know how well this will photo because it'll probably reflect off of the thing. But it's this picture of Tom Kenny and I, and we're both doing like the bicep curling, like, dude, I stared at this photo for like a half hour after the photo was taken, and I almost cried. Because I was like, not only is it like the SpongeBob musical is such an important part of my life, but like just Tom Kenny like acknowledging that and like, you know, it was just such a special moment. So I'm gonna get this like photo scanned into the computer so I can have this always digitally backed up just in case anything ever happens to it.
You guys don't understand. On the drive back, Riley was in the back seat. He had 2 cups underneath his eyes and he was crying his eyes out. He was filling up a whole bucket. He shipped it to Comic-Con afterwards. It was weird.
That scene in SpongeBob where he's just like crying into the cup, drinking it, and crying back into the cup.
That's what he did.
That was me.
Yeah,
yep, totally.
That's what he did. He's like, nope.
But like, I also, that was something that also surprised me, is he was such a high energy guy. He's in his 60s.
Yeah.
And so it was like, how does this guy he's been signing for, at this point, he had been signing for 4.5 hours straight.
Just meeting people.
Immediately goes, and he's just hyper high energy. Like, it was so cool. I wish I had gotten to get his autograph because then I could talk to him a little bit more. But I'll take the photo over the autograph any day, honestly.
What you should have done is like when he left the photo scene, you should have just like walked right behind him. It's like security guys like, you need to give it. No, I'm friends with him. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, that's my buddy. That's my buddy Tom.
I know him. His name's Tom, right?
Yeah, I know him. But yeah, so that was like the ultimate highlight. That was totally worth the hours of waiting in line.
I lied. What you need to do is you need to be like the teenage girl thing where you go to a concert of the boy band and you pretend to not be interested in it. And it's like, oh, my friend invited me. I don't even like your music.
I don't even know.
It's like, I don't even know who you are. Is your name Bob Lenny? Like,
Bob Lenny? I don't know.
You play Bob Boob? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it was such a good time though.
It was.
It was like that moment for me was just like worth all the waiting in line, like just to get to shake his hand and for him to like, I just want to have a conversation with me. It was so cool. So I hope to meet him at another convention sometime to get his autograph.
Yeah.
That was the big goal, was getting the picture with him, and it turned out good, and I love it.
And you had mentioned like interacting with people. I forgot. Did I ever tell you about meeting the person that was drawing my blood? Like what she was like. So again, I got my blood. I donated blood for the. I don't even know why I like there, but so the person that took my blood, her name was Ryan. She is a talker. She just started talking to me like casually. She's going there like, oh, what'd you see? Having fun. And then she goes in and is like, I'm here. I'm going to get $40 for this because I'm in overtime. She's like, I'm not leaving until 6 so I can get all the money. Telling me how she's from California. I'm like, oh, why did you move to Michigan again? She looks at me. She does this. For a man. I'm like, oh. She's telling me like, yeah, we're getting ready to move here. We're here for a week. He breaks up with me. I'm like, oh. We're like literally like going into like the tea time kind of thing while my blood is like sucking up. She goes, and I ain't ever going after a man again. I'm like,
you're like, hey, respect.
It was like, she was just incredible. Like just talking about it. It was funny too, because like at one point we were talking so much that she looked down. She goes, because I'm a flower, so I very easily like blood comes away from me. Which by the way, the first thing she said to me when she saw it, she goes, "Good luck in an accident."
Oh gosh.
like thanks, needed that. But at one point we're like just talking, and all of a sudden she looks down. And she goes, "Man, you're going slow now." There's been a kink at the line the entire time. So she goes, oh. And then like 2 minutes later, okay, you're done. Like I would have been done so long ago. But there was that kink that we didn't notice. But no, Ryan, if you watch this somehow, you're amazing. Keep up the good work. It was funny. Then she went over to my roommate and was talking to him. And for some reason, Jose was like empty all my dirty laundry. He goes, you know, my roommate was born an extra finger. I'm like,
is that an important detail to disclose?
I'm like, wow, Luigi.
And that's a story for another episode. the finger episode. Yeah. But yeah, so I guess I didn't get much else. I stopped by our buddy Rise. Amazing artist. This is a Venom piece that I bought off him. I have one of his original pieces. That's Venom. But he was a big help when I was doing my first con. He was so sweet and helping teach us what to do. And
when he wasn't talking about fucking cinnamon.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and so that was my first time seeing him since C4. He immediately recognized both of us.
It was insane. Like literally, I walked up to his booth. He was talking to someone, and he does like the normal thing, like, "Hi, how are you?" He like looked at me. She goes, "Hi," and they go, "Oh!" And I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, he's a super cool guy.
He tried stealing my marker. He like signed it and he put the marker down. I'm like, "Can I have my marker back?" He goes, "Oh, this one?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "No." I'm like, I needed that. He's such a cool guy.
He is. I love people who are willing to share secrets and like not afraid to help people.
Yeah,
who are just starting out.
Did you ever get to stop by and see Dave?
No, I missed him.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was on some weird end cap. Like how everyone was like this. He, for some reason, was like on this kind of angle. It was so weird. But he recognized me too. He goes, "You guys doing okay? You doing okay? You doing okay?" Like,
so good. So yeah, Kyle Rise Irving on Instagram and Dave Brown Jr. on Instagram. Both amazing artists.
Yes.
Really cool dudes.
Both incredible people.
Shout outs. We love you guys. Hope to do more shows with you in the future.
If we're gonna be at C4, we're gonna make sure we're at C4. If you guys,
I just applied for that last week, by the way.
Nice. If you guys aren't at C4 and you watch this, I will find out where you live. I will drag you there with my bare hands. Not bare hands, bare hands.
Legal disclaimer, this is a joke. That was a joke. Don't come after us. We love you.
The FBI's outside the door like, That was a joke, but I would love to see you guys again. They're amazing people.
It's such a good group of people. And that's what I like about the smaller conventions too, is it's just like you get to actually meet the artists.
Well, it's funny to think about. Like, we met Caitlin and Jay just for the fact that they sat next to me during drinking and drawing.
During drink and draw.
Like, I literally just sat. So another person that we met, Caitlin and Jay, they do their own comics.
Yep.
It was me, then it was Riley and Bethany, at this convention. It was a drink and draw for charity. Those two were drawing away. I can't draw to save my life, so I was just there twiddling my thumbs, la-di-da. And next to me was Kaylin's husband, who I didn't know was her husband at the time, and he wasn't drawing either. And I'm like, cool, someone else that can't draw. I'm not alone. And then she like gave him a notepad and pen, and he gave him a literal red pen, and he started drawing, didn't make a single mistake. I'm like, fuck.
I cannot stand when I see people doing that.
He did it like in an instant as well. Like he literally went like this, and it was done. And I'm like, God damn it. And so I went up to him like, hey man, that's really good. He goes, oh thanks, I used to draw. I'm like,
I have so much respect, but also so much hatred for people who can just pick up an ink pen, don't do any tracing or pre-sketching, like that, because that takes such skill to just not mess up like that. So much respect, but so much hatred.
But literally, me just asking, like, me just looking at him saying, "Oh, I like your drawing," was enough. Like, they were there, like, offering me pen and paper, offering me drawing tips,
And you're like, no.
They offered me their food. I was like,
pizza.
I'm like, oh, that pizza smells good. It's like, you want some? I'm like, it's your guys' food. But they gave us advice. They gave me advice to give to them because the other two were there, tunnel vision.
Yeah, pretty much.
But no, they were super sweet. At the end, Kaylin was like, can I give you guys hugs? Like, we've known you for literally a day. But no, they were so sweet.
I love, that's my favorite part about these conventions is the connections. Like, just talking to people that you wouldn't ordinarily talk to.
Yeah, and then you find out that they bought a coyote taxidermy and a bear skull.
Good times. Yeah.
Just had it sitting behind her booth. It was literally there. There was no reason that it had to be in there. But she's like, nah. Yeah. She's like, everyone asked you, like, pull it up and, like, let them pet it. And then
Pet the coyote.
The bear skull just had a zip tie on its jaw.
Oh my gosh. Good times. Yeah. So that about does our Comic-Con wrap up, I think.
I think so.
I bought some, like, some more pop figures, which I really don't need.
We left them alone for like an hour.
We were walking around together and we passed this section. They had pop figures, like tables, just stacks of really cool pop figures that are pretty hard to find these days. And it was like $10 a piece or 3 for $25, which is a good freaking deal. So like I was like, oh, I don't need any more. And then after, when they were getting their blood drawn, I walked around and I went back to this table and I found, okay, I'll just show them. I found this Entertainment Earth exclusive J. Jonah Jameson. I'm a Spider-Man collector. I collect all the Spider-Man ones, so I saw JJJ. I don't know how much these are worth, but I know that I haven't been able to find them. Then, of course, Amazing Fantasy 15 Spider-Man, Steve Ditko, first appearance. This is one that I've wanted from a long time ago, and I found it at the bottom of one of the piles, so I got that. And then I got this other one, Batman, Michael Keaton, 1989. Another one that I really wanted and I couldn't find because I have the Joker, but I missed out on the Batman and never could find him in stores. 3 for $25. I don't know actual value on these, but I don't know how they can afford to sell these for so cheap. But I'm not complaining.
It was funny though because you came up with a black bag, and I was like, "What horrendous thing did you buy?"
What did you buy?
He didn't have a black bag when I left him last.
Yeah, this is the dangerous part about conventions is for me. I did say no. I did say one of the things I was looking for was a Mafex Dark Knight Returns Frank Miller Batman action figure. And I did find it.
Oh, you did?
I found 2 of them actually, but they were $120 a piece.
And
which
didn't buy them?
is like, I guess that's not horrible price. I could probably get it for like 90 to 100 on eBay.
All I'm saying is Comic-Con's still open right now. You can buy it.
Okay, well, I might. No. So like I was like, that's not horrible price, but you know, I knew that Motor City will have a bigger selection, so I was like, I gotta pass. So I showed restraint. Mom, if you're watching this.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
I haven't told my mom we were doing a podcast yet.
Have you not?
No.
What the heck, man?
It slipped my mind.
It slipped my mind for the past 2. We've only been doing it for 2 months. That's fine.
My thing is, I don't want it to go to my grandma. Because my grandma would go to work and be like, do you know my grandson has a podcast? And one of the people there is a girl that I went on a date with.
Oh.
And I'm like, I don't want any connection back to her if I can have it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, goodness. All right. Well, I think that does it. I don't know how long we've been recording, but hopefully it hasn't been too long. Hopefully the footage didn't stop recording midway through, because that would suck. I forgot to tell you that we could click record on the microphone, so if the audio cut out, it would back up audio. So we didn't do that, but hopefully the episode's fine.
Oh, wait. We got to sync the audios now. Ready? 3, 2.
No, they're pre-synced. They're pre-synced.
Damn it.
We don't need to sync it today.
3, 2, 1.
Cool. All right. Thanks for watching. Tune in next week where we don't know what we're going to do.
We'll have a guest. We'll have a topic.
Yeah, but we might push that off to the next week if next week's episode is the Comic-Con episode.
We'll have a guest. We'll have a topic.
We'll have something. Something in the next episode. We don't know yet. It'll be a little more professional setup because we're going to have like a 3-camera setup. It's going to be really cool. But we'll worry about that when we get there. So thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you in the next one. Adios.
I like my wine like I like my women. Bottled.
All right, that's a cut.